Yeah, definitely,
So
definitely. All right, moving on to the next topic at hand, and um, Capcom is in a pretty good place right now. If you've not noticed of late. So this is off of DualShockers.com. Capcom producer says the potential for a Resident Evil 3 remake begins with the fans. This is written by Logan Moore. If fans want if fans want another entry in the Resident Evil saga to be remade, Capcom says they need to make their voices heard. Capcom's remake of Resident Evil 2 has also been out for a few mere days, but for lots of fans, the question has already become, what's next for Resident Evil? While it would seem logical for Capcom to continue on with the franchise in a potential Resident Evil 8, following up on the success of 2017's RE7, some fans seem to be so smitten by the new RE2 remake that now all they want to see is the same treatment for older games in the series, specifically that of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Well, if that's what you want to see happen, then Capcom is saying that you need to make your voice heard and let them know. Speaking of Japanese publication Game Watch recently, Resident Evil 2 producer Yoshiki Hayabashi, I'm sorry I butchered your name, um, spoke a bit about the potential remaking another entry in the series. Hayabashi said that the reason Capcom decided to specifically remake Resident Evil 2 this time around was that for over 20 years, fans made it well known that this is what they wanted to happen. Um, Power to the players. That's
yeah,
it's um right now
what?
RE2 is doing fantastic. Like
Yeah, and
it looks damn good. The sales have been great. It's I think they tell
so
go ahead, sorry.
no, you're fine. I wanted to point something out about Resident Evil as a whole, the whole franchise, and lead back to the remake because something that I've argued time and time again about Resident Evil, and even if you look at the Resident Evil 1 remake, it keeps the same like static camera while you're moving through an environment, but just changes up the tank controls, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so to me, I always looked at Resident Evil's video games are the main numbers in this vein. The first three use the static camera and tank controls for its horror aspects. 4 through 6 use the third person camera. And as the franchise goes further, it gets more action and yada yada yada. 7 is taking an entirely new route with the first person, like more eerie and anxiety inducing, where I feel like 8 and 9 will be the same way. Because
Mhm.
think about it. You
Yeah.
know, when you think about each game in the franchise, 1 through 3 did the same thing, 4 through 6 did the same thing. I imagine 7 through 9 will do the same thing. And I always argued that 2 really only works in the context of a static camera and tank controls. Sure, you could possibly change it to where it's not tank controls and still have the same feeling. Boy, does this remake prove me the fuck wrong. Um, Good gravy does this remake prove me wrong. For one, they are telling the exact same story, slightly deviated just to make it a little bit more A, modern, and B, scary,
Mhm.
but making it work for its third person camera.
Mhm.
And yeah, I would absolutely love to see a Resident Evil 3 remake in the same fashion.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed. After the success of its RE2 remake, it not only does it look damn good, but it just from seeing other streamers watch it, like it looks like it feels good too. It was funny. Somebody made a comment that kind of made me want to get the game in the later future. Is that this is the closest thing we'll get to a Dead Space? I'm like, oh god, and I love Dead Space. So like, all right,
well,
I'm
you got to specify that with Dead Space 1.
that's true. That's true. Dead Space One. You're right. um, but yeah, like I'm definitely.
Because I'll argue Dead Space about each game being good, but different types of horror.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, it's yeah. RE2 is freaking fantastic, and it's deserving high praise for obvious reasons. Um, Capcom, if I mean like it's funny because usually when games are made or when things are put in perspective, it's more or less not what the fans want part of the time. It's kind of what the company wants to do, and having them come out there and say, hey, if you want RE3, let us know, and that's something that that game companies don't do often, you know.
Well,
And
it's argued, it's been argued time and time again, Anthony, that 2 and 4 are the best in the franchise.
absolutely, absolutely.
Which is funny because those are the only two starring Leon as a main character. I guess 6 does too, but
6. True. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
he is a main character. I think there's
Yeah.
6, so
Yeah.
whatever. But
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm in the mindset of we don't need remakes. I want new things or sequels.
Right.
But I think also at the same time, like, if you are a varied franchise like Resident Evil, where your first game was on PlayStation, you can't just re-release that game and expect today's like 13-year-olds to be like, hell yeah, I'm in, or even 16-year-olds for that matter to be like up and fucking in it.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to update it so that way people can still get the same story, but in a more modern sense. And
Absolutely.
I think this remake fucking does that in spades.
Absolutely. They're very smart. They kept what made Resident Evil, but they modernized some of the things that would have been in the game in the yesteryear of this game in 20 years ago, or however long it was, to today's standards, and it worked flawlessly. So yeah, I think that people, if they are just excited for RE2 and want an RE3 remake, definitely go out there and tell Capcom, like, hey, we want Resident Evil 3 remake, the same treatment you gave to RE2. So yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. I'll be down for that. You thought Mr. X was terrifying. Just wait until you have to play against Nemesis, coming at you with a rocket launcher.
What's funny is I was talking to a buddy who, we played Resident Evil 2 a lot, and I never remembered a Mr. X. I honestly don't remember a Mr. X at all. And I looked it up, and there is no Mr. X. He doesn't exist in Resident Evil 2 for PS2 or PS1. Sorry, PS1. And I think it's PS1. Resident Evil 2 on PS1 or PS2?
RE2
Jesus
was
Christ.
PS1.
Okay. Jesus, it's been that long. I thought it was PS1, but
Right.
but yeah, I straight up just do not remember a Mr. If there is a Mr. X and I totally fucking just don't remember it, great. But adding him to this game, brilliant, because he causes an extra sense of anxiety, and I love that. But my buddy and I were just like, is he just as bad as Nemesis? Because didn't Nemesis pop up out of nowhere? And we were like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I believe so, unless you had timed locations. Mr. X seems like he's 100% random. But I don't know. Like, I was watching Djibouti Show last night. I think you were too. I think I saw you in chat. But it was the part right at the end of the stream where they're like in the area with
I saw that. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
So
for chat, and the audience listening, what ended up happening was they were running through, and there was 6 zombies in there, and he was just trying to run past them, but then Mr. X is just fucking right there and fucking cold cocks him, keeps him locked in there. He then has to turn around and run through a jail cell, which now Mr. X is at the only exit from the jail cell, and the zombies come in and start attacking him. He could not get out of there. He was either getting tackled by zombies or punched in the head by Mr. X, and I could not stop laughing. It was so funny.
he almost made it out at the very end. If he did not get hit by that zombie, I think he might actually made it out potentially.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, again, Capcom has been on a success ride recently. Outside its fighting game division, everything else has been doing well for them. Resident Evil 7's been doing well. RE2 Remake's doing well. Monster Hunter World was freaking fantastic last year. It seems like recently Capcom is back.
Well, they're also pandering. Like, I'm not complaining about their pandering because it's been fun pandering, but they're pandering. They're not taking chances. They're not doing new things because they know. Like,
I would argue Monster Hunter World was probably like the one that they were
sure. It was their biggest one, but it's also one of their biggest franchises that they were fucking pushing to console with modern graphics. Like, that was going to be a success no matter what. That idea in general was going to be a success.
Yeah, either in one region or in both.
So I don't see that as big of a chance. But still, I'm like, yeah, I mean, if Capcom's on its way back, great, because they have a lot of franchises that need love.
If they're gonna bring back any other franchise, and this is just me saying it because I think it'd be hilarious but kind of cool, bring back Dino Crisis.
If we could have a Dino Crisis in this remake style, that'd be fucking rad.
Oh god, it'd be so cool. Just Dino Crisis 1 and 2.
I doubt it.
I know. I know. It's a long shot, but like Dino Crisis 1 and 2. I don't want 3. 3 was not good. You went in space. You fought
Yeah, well.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the next topic at hand. As soon as I do this, and where's my thing? Oh, this.